Hi everyone. Activating the mind to the past refreshes memories, and there's many ways to refresh these all too precious memories. Photograph albums, music of the person's era, having a chat and reminiscing, taking them to an old childhood spot where they played on the swings and the slides. Such activities are really good at activating past memories and getting that cognition going, because with dementia, the present memory tracks are often dysfunctional, the past memory tracks more in place. So you get those activated, you get the person thinking about those, reminiscing about those, focusing on those, and getting that all precious concentration and focus. With that, often confidence builds, and with that, communication skills are activated, which is what we want to improve quality of life for people in dementia units. So just to go into some examples of this and ways to activate the mind and past memories in a dementia unit that I've had experiences of with various dementia residents in the facilities I've worked with. So of course the all too famous common photograph albums are excellent to bring those in to activate memories. Making sure though that the photographs are big enough, because often with those old albums they're tiny little photos, black and white sepia, and you can't really see them very well. So either blow them up, or especially make sure that the person has clean, clear glasses so that they can actually see the photos. But if you've got the time and energy to go all out and take the person out to a favourite spot that they used to go to as a child, that is a really excellent activity. If they used to play, for example, at the local park of the neighbourhood where you may well still be living, they will, chances are remember the slides and the swings that they used to play on. So if you can take them there and sit on a seat in the park on a sunny day and ask them the questions, do you remember mum or dad, playing on the swings and slides here? Give them time to think about it, give them time to answer. And they may well say, well, yes, I do, dear, used to love those swings and slides when I was young. It's a bit bouncy on the seesaw, but those jungle gyms, they'd only just come in when I was young, and we called them jungle gyms. Swinging on those was my favourite thing. Actually, you could remember that because you've seen photos of your mother on that jungle gym, so that you knew that that was the case. So you can talk about the jungle gyms, and if you've got children there as well, then the children can play on the jungle gyms, and then grandma has a chance to see them swinging on the bars and doing all their tricks and waving and encouraging, and have a lovely day, picnic, and just like the old days. This is the perfect activity of getting the mind, reminiscing and the memories activated, because it's really important actually to get the confidence going for people with dementia. So easily confidence is lost. Memory loss, stigma, prejudice. Confidence can just wane so quickly. Sometimes the person thinks they're just losing their mind completely, that they're never going to be able to think again, when they can actually think. It's just the present memory that's gone. They can get the past memory going, and they can get cognition and thinking and intellectual engagement going. But it takes some time for them to work that out, and our support goes a long way with this. But if we can start activating a past memory as a starting point, that's fantastic, because it gets the memory tracks going, the cognition going, the neural pathways functioning, and then the person starts getting that confidence. God, that they can think, that they can function, and they can communicate. And so with this, once they start to be able to communicate with you, firstly, being friends, family, that will be easier for them. But once that's in place, then they'll be able to start getting the confidence to communicate with other residents at the facility, which is really important, because, it's a lonely life otherwise in a dementia unit. If you don't make friends, you haven't got any ability to be able to get out unless relatives take you. So unless you make friendships with people inside the facility, you're incredibly isolated. And if you're not integrated, if you're not communicating, you will be isolated and you will be lonely. So that's why it's important to get these communication skills going so that the person is able to, talk to their, neighbour or the person that they're sitting with at the meal table, or communicate and be part of the activities that go on in the unit. So this is why all this thinking and cognition engagement is important, because the person may be in that facility for 3, 4, 5 years, and it's a long time in one's life, to be living for. And we all want to be able to function to the best degree wherever we're living, dementia units being as important as anywhere else, as we all know. So these are some of the ways to be able to activate past memories. It's always good to bring in old friends to see your mother or father, if you can. I mean, if your mother's elderly, chances are their friends are elderly, so you may need to pick them up and take them, to see your parent. But that's lovely for reminiscing and bringing back past memories. Or you may bring your mother out for a Sunday lunch and 1 or 2 of her friends can come along, say for her birthday party, always a good excuse. And then they can reminisce about old days and get those past memories, get those past, mind memory tracks functioning. There's lots of ways of doing it. Once you start thinking about linking into the past and activating the past memories, you'll come up with lots of ways yourself to be able to do this. And it's just to be able to steer away from the present memory capacities, which are very, very diluted and diminished with dementia. I mean, there may be a weak muscle of it left. Whatever's left, you want to be able to use for things like activating it for things like direction orientation and the person finding their room. I mean, that is a very important component of present memory and direction orientation, which it is important to work on. But other than that, at a dementia facility, as the dementia residents say, we don't need a memory here. Everything's done for us. We don't need a present memory here. Everything's done. The beds are made, the washing's done, we get good meals, everything's looked after. If the same routine every day, day after day. Yesterday's the same as today, and today's the same as tomorrow, and on it goes. So it's a completely different, it's the same schedule every day. So, they're cared for, they're looked after. They don't need a memory for that. But it's important for them to have cognition, past memory, starting with that, so that they can have enough thinking capacity to be able to communicate. I mean, you can't communicate unless you've got thinking capacity. And you can't communicate unless you've got focus and confidence enough to do so. So that's why this thinking work is important. So thank you for your looks and your likes and your subscriptions, subscriptions on YouTube. That's fantastic. I've written these 2 books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit. The essence of the work being in both books here. Still pretty new. They were just published November last year. And this channel, of course, has only been going 3 months. I mean, I know I've done a lot of videos, but it's only really a young channel. So I'd really appreciate your subscriptions and support, and to pass on links to, say, people that are struggling often with dementia. All these practical points can be so helpful. It's so difficult when you're looking after someone with dementia to try and wade through all the information to find positive, practical ways to be able to help. So if there's any of these techniques that you think will help your neighbour or, your friend's mother or whoever it is that that has dementia, if you can please pass these links and information on. Thank you.